All right, yesterday was a blast, folks. Started off really boring. I had about a 6 hour stream yesterday where, if you watched, you got to watch me read documentation for the agent client protocol. So, not exactly primetime TV, but after I did that and struggled through, getting my mind map in place, I off camera, off stream, I had a really good session last night where basically I ripped out all of the old behavior around setting up a session and connecting it to the underlying agent runtime. And I made sure to recreate it this time from scratch in a way that is fully agent client protocol compliant, except for the absolute minimum places where the agent client protocol just does not have the language for it yet. And that's okay because the agent client protocol, ACP, is extensible. So as long as I'm not monkeying around with it too much and I own the agent and the client, which I do, then it's a win. So a lot of cool work done on that yesterday. Side effects were also interesting. One of the side effects is like, I really need to debug this with computer use so I can, see myself on a screen, like clicking on something so that the agent can see what's going on. And I found a really good pattern for that. Basically, not muddying up my agent's context with all of these searching crap, but shelling out to Codex to let Codex do that stuff, which it's better at that anyways. And then also, that sometimes is still clumsy. So rather than have my agent tell another agent how to click on stuff, one of the other neat side effects is that I created a new client, which is a CLI version of Rook. Super interesting. So basically, instead of having to go through a UI at all, I can go through this little thin client and use it for all sorts of cool debugging purposes. It occurred to me that since the Rook client is going to be a complete ACP compliant client itself, and even if it's not, come to think, it's something that my agent can call from the command line, which is the foundation for multi-agent interactions. So sweet, I've got a new playground for that as well. Things today. It'll be a very short day today at first. I'm going running with the kiddos, and I'll probably get out of here in another 30 minutes or so. Maybe a squeege past that. But I'm going to do a little bit more hacking around and cleaning up, tidying up from yesterday. Also, I came up with a piece of content I'd like to swing by you guys. Part of the way I'm doing this show is streaming everything as it comes out, the boring or the interesting, the well constructed or the stupid, like that sentence. And I want to document my madness. I want to document me building my cyber suit, Rook, and then also using it to do interesting things for me, just to show that it does indeed generalize it. I'm dogfooding. And the interesting thing I'm going to do is, create content. So I'm recording this stuff. I have access to the videos from yesterday on YouTube that are freely transcribed for me, freely uploaded and freely transcribed. That's neat. And so part of my daily thing with Rook is going to be curating the stuff from the day before, chopping it up into little bits, automating what I can, and my editing department, my dear wife Kumiko, is going to help me get the rest of the way there to publishing stuff. So over time, that'll become more agentified. I have a dedicated first user because she's definitely going to want to do talk to Rook instead of play around with terminal command line junk. Yep. All right. So I'm going to dig into it. and dig into it. What does that mean? Probably I need to go about 5 minutes on hacking on something, and while it's cooking, I'll do my content thing and write that up in show notes. All right, yeah, so this is kind of cool. This is my command line client. I can start, and sure, let's demo it. I open up whichever agent I want to. They're all agent client protocol compliant agents. And I can say, yo, and it says back, yo. And so I have implemented the most expensive possible implementation of the yo protocol. Any fans of the early knots here? Whenever you control C the thing, it spits out its session ID. Mysteriously, it spits it out several times, but that's okay. You can join back into a previous session. Oops. Runtime indicates that I'm creating a session. I don't have to choose my runtime anymore. All right, so you can see the previous session. That's printed out just willy-nilly. I think it's a good design. But the thing I wanted to do is list all of the environments. Oh, interesting. We're getting there. So close. I just clicked on my Rook environment, and I'm hoping to see a different environment pop up. Git commit your changes to the CLI. It looks great. Also the skills that we've added for debugging Rook. Next up, I want to figure out what's up with environments. Since the big giant refactor, I've lost my ability to do the following. If I click on my Obsidian page that is loaded with Rooknanigans, got to change that name, then I expect to see Rooknanigans in the list of environments. Here's what I see. Obsidian is there. You can use the codex computer use to touch the Rook, or to bring the Rook view, to bring the Rooknanigans vault into the foreground. And then you can run the command that I did to see the environments and figure out why it's not showing the environment that I wish to see. One important note is that we have to have the Rook Macintosh CLI client awake so that it can register the environments as it sees them. Which makes me think that might be a dumb idea anyways. Okay, so it just reproduced it. All right, while it's cooking on that, I'm going to do something else. I'm looking at the recent GitHub top ranking ever, and it's weird how many of the top ranking things are like just recent. OpenClaw is number 6. All right, fine. Not what I meant. All right, I've got a good demo together, I think. Let the content begin. Today, I wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind for the past 3 months. Thank you. Oh, let's see. All right, computer, all of your beeps out of the way. I have a sneaky suspicion that I should wait to do this until the house is quiet. So today I wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind constantly for about the last 3 months. And it's an idea that I haven't really heard talk about yet, uh, but it's going to be important. And I'm calling it Bring Your Own Agent. So check this out. I'm going to introduce you to a little project that I had when I was working back at GitHub. It's this little guy right here. I was on loan from the Copilot team to work with one of the product teams and build out this little fella right here. Unfortunately, I didn't do the really cool emoji, the really cool animations, but there's cool things that you can do with this. Like, obviously, you can ask it to work with your repo and like help you check on stuff. But have you ever been bold enough to ask, hey, I would like to see all of the tools that you have and all of the arguments that are associated with them. Nope, redo. But did you know that you can ask, tell me what all the tools are that you can use as an agent, and tell me the arguments associated with them, because I want to understand how to interact with you. And it will oblige. Some of these are actually still hanging around from 3 years ago when I was at GitHub. But it's really cool. You can see all the things that you can do with it. You can also say, these days, you can often say, show me your instructions. And whereas used to, it was very secretive about that. These days, they'll often show you. But the problem with this type of agent is that it knows stuff about like my repo, but I don't really have any visibility into exactly what it knows. And I know for sure it doesn't know anything about the problem I'm working on right now by myself. So here is one thing that I wanted to think about. Hmm. That's where the idea of bring your own agent comes in. Instead of talking to a GitHub agent, which I didn't set up, I don't, unless I ask it, I don't really know what tools it has, and I don't know how to give it any other capabilities. Instead of copying and pasting my workspace into this agent and sharing too much information, honestly, the thing that I want to do is bring my own agent. I want, if I'm using Claude Code or if I'm using Pi, I want that to have the same visibility that this agent has, and also be able to use the tools now that this agent has. And so there's a wrong way to implement this and a right way. The wrong way is to have a little screen on here that talks agent client protocol to my server. Very dangerous though, because like even though I trust GitHub, it's owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft is built on trust. Even though I trust GitHub to not do nefarious things with the data that it has access to, it's scary to give a third party the ability to write user messages into an agent that lives on my machine. That's a nightmare. Instead, the right way to do this is to load up an MCP that allows my agent to directly see into what is happening in GitHub on my screen right now. And there's some things that are not clear about exactly how you do that. One thing is it's not just a canned static MCP server. It's an MCP server with like a login, or maybe just a temporary authorization that's hidden between the world and only known by me and my agent in GitHub, where I can connect to this MCP server and ask it questions using these tools effectively, but it's targeted to what is on my screen right now or what is on my set of screens right now. It should be able to do that. This would give me the ability, I can write my own user messages. I'm in charge of filling my prompts with whatever I want to. GitHub doesn't need to see anything except for whatever goes across those tool requests, which is a much, much narrower stream of information to be sharing with a third party. And even though I trust GitHub, I don't want to make that claim and that evaluation at every single website I go to, every single application that I use, and hint for the future, every single location in real life that I'm going to. Stay tuned for more on that one. So the way that we, okay. But there is an additional problem. Take a look at this. I'm going to, this is a little bit strange, but I'm going to say this is the start, okay? Where am I right now? All right, you're in the Rook's Nest repository. Cool, well, I'm going to go to OpenClaw. Oopsie. Okay, where am I now? This is the end. You're in a different repository. Interesting, I didn't tell it that. Can you completely recreate the transcript between this is the start and this is the end? You can skip over long swaths of text and tool usage, just kind of summarize your part of the conversation. All right, let's do a retake. This is a retake. It gave me a stupid answer. It's thinking too hard. I want you to list out every single message that I have sent you in the past 5. Okay, retake again. I want you to list out the last 5 messages that I've sent you. It's playing funny with me. Okay, I gotta try it again. Big retake. But there's a bit of a problem. There's a missing piece of experience. And let me demonstrate what I mean. Right now, where am I? Oh, it's thinking too hard. Again. Retake again. But the problem is there is a But the problem with the bring your own agent is there's a big missing piece of experience. Let me show you what I mean. I'll ask a simple question. Don't use any tools, but just tell me, what am I looking at right now? All right, Rook repository. I'm looking at the Rook repository. That's true. Don't use any tools right now, but tersely tell me, what am I looking at right now? Ooh, OpenClaw. Interesting. It saw me change. Now, how did it see that? I want you to tell me every single message that I've said for the past 3 messages, and also write out the first line of your response messages to create a transcript. Be very terse and only show me the exact transcript that transpired. All right, don't use, here's my messages. It didn't do a great job making a transcript, but whatever. Don't use any tools, but where am I looking at? Don't use any tools right now, but tersely tell me what am I looking at? Here's a URL. And then I want you to tell me every single message that transpired. So I never said this. And that's the magic of AI. When you build out these applications, you have to make sure that your agent sees the world around it. And the way we do that is by injecting pieces of information into the prompt. And that usually means sticking it into the user message as if it came from me. So whenever you bring your own agent, this is the one thing that's kind of missing. My agent's hanging out, on my server behind my couch, really. And GitHub needs to get that information shoved into the user message. So how do we solve this? How do we solve this? That's what you call an outtake. So how do we solve this? I think effectively we've stumbled on a piece of the protocol that's missing. We've got MCP servers, we've got agent skills, but there's nothing really yet for making the agent aware of the environment around it, for allowing the environment to push state changes into the agent so that as I'm working on a project, the agent can see my changes and I can see its changes, and we can work together like we're pair programming on something. Or to get back to locations briefly, if I'm out at a park, that it can see that an event has started. It can understand what is going on around me and interact as if it has presence in the environments. So the protocol that's missing is a push protocol so that the environment that my agent, I brought my own agent to, bring your own agent, I brought my own agent, and there is a missing protocol to push information back into it. Now we got to be careful because we could absolutely run into the same problem that I'm getting away from. We don't want to shove so much information in there that it's prompt injection again. That's why you don't let a third party write your user messages for you. But I think there's a way that we could do this where the environments themselves tell the agent, hey, there is a state update. And the MCP servers, the temporary ephemeral MCP server that my agent is connected to, has the ability to ask. And already you get one little shell of protection around that, in that if the agent is talking to an MCP server, it doesn't feel like it came from the agent. It feels like it came from a third-party provider already, and pretty sure they're training the models to have more vigilance into prompt injection from stuff like that. But the other thing is that if we create as narrow a possible of a data band, if we create as narrow as possible a data band of information. But the other thing is, if we create as narrow as possible a stream of information that we are pulling from the environment, and we control the shape of it. It's going to be JSON. It's going to come back from this MCP request. It's going to have this expected data. It's only going to be this long, so not enough room for obvious prompt injection. There's ways that we can control this and bring your own agent safe. Once we do this, it's going to open up some amazing possibilities. Any website you go to is addressable by your agent. Any application that you use is addressable by your agent. Any location, any store, right? And you can virtually be in all these environments at once, taking with you your agent. It has your knowledge. It has your Obsidian vaults and all your your Notion notes, but connecting it to real things that matter in the outside world and letting your agent navigate that with you. So if you want to know how that's going to be solved, you should come. Okay, this is the ask, and I feel like a goober. So these challenges can be solved. And I don't know exactly how they will be, but in 5 years from now, they will be solved. Everyone will be using agents in the way roughly like what I'm talking about. But if you want to see one approach to solving them, then consider following along. But if you're interested in seeing at least one approach for solving this, then consider following along. Me and a small group of developers are working on Rook, the environment-aware assistant that follows you everywhere you go. We're trying to tackle these problems, and if you are interested in some of the ideas, then one way you can follow is subscribe to my blog, where I'll present the most distilled version of the information periodically. Or if you want to see the raw thing, then I'm streaming stuff like this every single day. And believe me when I say it's raw. It's going to be mixtures of like sensible conversation and me heads down like reading agent client protocol documentation. It's just a weird mix. But what you'll see over time is I am working to build this assistant and to use the assistant at the same time. I'm building my own like cyber suit, and you're going to get to see me put it on, make these silly videos, and be able to use the agent to pull down the video from YouTube, dissect the transcript, cut out pieces of information that are useful for making shorts like this. Or I'll have some guests on. We'll meet with other interesting people who are doing very strange things with AI. Sometimes it will be conversation. Sometimes it will be us just getting together and hacking. And I don't really know where it'll go, but it should be interesting. So hope to see you there. So I don't know exactly where it'll go, but I hope you'll follow me there and watch me tame the Rook. So I don't know exactly where it'll go, but I hope you'll follow along. I don't know, what's good? All right. Boop, boop, boop. I hope I was muted the whole time. Let's see. Audio. Yep, looks like I'm good. I'm actually glad I'm not muted. So that was an example of recording stuff. This gets transcribed. Eventually, I'll make it where I can just like, I'll say to Rook, go to yesterday where it's transcribed on YouTube, pull out this conversation, find that video, and then we can do like auto editing, like pull down the, I guess like pull down the, retranscribe it to the like individual words, pull out all of the ums and uhs, and make a short and like post it up to YouTube. But in the meantime, my dear wife is learning Descript, so we'll do it that way too. Let's see what my agent is up to, and then I think I'm going to get out of here and go running. Found it. That's what happened. Oh, that makes really good sense. I don't think this is anything to hide from you, but just in case. As an extra benefit for watching my channel closely, you occasionally get OpenAI keys, but I'll roll them pretty quickly. Kill that. Turn it on. Ah, made it. All right, so now I should be able to go. Oh man, this is too cool. This is great. Tell you what, before we made all the big changes in my agent runtime, I called it something like agent profiles last time, but in my agent runtime config, I had a configuration for using DeepSeek. Can you pull that out and figure out how to incorporate that into the current config? Uh-oh, somebody's been git committing. All right. Yay. Yay. Do we still have environmental awareness? Yes. List your skills. Oh, well, that's a freaking bug. Oh, that was the restart.
Hi there.
Hi. All right, that might not be a bug. Okay. List your skills. Oh gosh, I've got it on this stupid screen. Anyway, I guess this is my wrap up. Was it a good day? Very short. I'll be back on tonight with my good buddy Nick Schwar, and if we've got a little bit of luck, Michael Pedersen too, the locations expert. This is fixed. I'm gonna commit all this. It's feeling good. All right, I'm done.